Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well Dressed Walrus, Spokane Firefighters Local 29, Creative Music Learning Center, and North Idaho Events. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Well, welcome to a special edition of the Pulse of Spokane, and I'm pleased to have Lindsay Skinner here. And did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
You looked at me like I didn't.
Oh,
Because I'm known for messing up names, okay?
It's a hard one to mess up. You did excellent.
And Skinner Steel and Construction, let me guess, you have something to do with building.
Correct.
Okay.
Good guess.
You're out of Lewiston?
I am.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually licensed in Idaho, Washington,
Okay.
Oregon, and Montana. So
Okay.
we do a lot of work up in this Spokane area.
Yeah. So tell me about this. I don't find too many heads of businesses in the construction industry, related industry, that are women.
I know it's growing though.
Yes, yes, it is.
Women are getting into the field and very
I've
knowledgeable.
heard they got the vote too. I'm kidding.
Well, I would like to say, start out, kind of give you a little bit of a background.
Yes.
So it is an interesting story how I got into construction. My husband pulled me into it.
Okay.
So he's been a union iron worker here up in Spokane since 2003. That's kind of how he started out.
Okay.
And about 2012 is when we started our own business, and that's where I made the transition from my previous career into construction full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you having fun?
I love it. We started out doing a lot of heavy steel erection and fabrication, and I've really moved into general construction, and that's where I get to be more involved and a part of the design. And my new passion project is the container home building.
Yes.
And the residential and commercial container homes.
So that's a new direction for Skinner Steel and buildings, right?
Correct. So this is just, it's becoming more popular globally,
Yes.
but not necessarily, it hasn't become real popular locally. I think it is, people don't know a lot about it yet. There's like a lot of
And you need to build some synergy of a few to get started for people to see that too, don't you?
Correct.
I mean, we see it on Home and Garden Network and some of the other channels and so forth, but I honestly have not. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen or heard of it in our area.
You probably have not.
No.
So it's new and it's growing, and there's a couple reasons people would actually be interested in it, right?
Okay.
So first would be the eco-friendly aspect. Right. So that's the first thing people think about. Like, how is this good for the environment? Containers are steel, so they're 85% recycled steel, and you're not having to, you can procure them. There's so many steel yards across across the nation, but even locally, because everything that gets shipped worldwide is through a container.
That's true. I hadn't really thought about it. I hadn't put all that together.
I know.
But
yeah. So you can go with a new container build or like a new used, and it really cuts down on cost and the time that of the building time. Yeah.
What kind of constraints do you have because of the preconceived, if you will, size of the units? Because they're pretty standard, right?
Yeah, they're pretty standard because you'll either have a 40-foot or a 20-foot container. Those are the two.
Okay.
So you will be. The constraints would be, that size, working with those parameters with that size and design. Okay. And then also you already have that build, so you have to either have an on-site or an off-site place for fabrication.
Okay. Will you be doing a lot on your own site and taking them?
I like the on-site fabrication because you're already there, so
you can control things a lot better too, can't you?
Yeah, and you don't have to move. It can go quicker. You don't have to worry about the transport from a fabrication shop to the location.
Yes. So when you talk about getting into this area, you're talking about the single 40-foot, or are you talking about multiples that go together?
Oh, there's so many.
Where you headed? I know.
There's so many possibilities. I'm so glad that you asked me that.
I can see the direction going.
There's so many possibilities. Yes.
And you don't stack them too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can, side by side and stack. There's so many different designs. I like one of the directions that it's going now is kind of like apartments or condos, and so it makes that's a really affordable housing solution for developers right now, is to go into apartment building. And you can go from apartments that are very affordable, or you could make these into very beautiful, almost like mansions.
Really?
Yes, I'm going to have to plug my Instagram. You have to go to my Instagram to see all of the photos, because you can. There's different siding options. So, and I really like putting on the different siding materials, right? So you're doing like faux stone or faux brick and really making it into a beautiful home.
Wow. I'm envisioning the old steel
containers. I know.
But now you're telling me there are a lot of options out there.
So many options, and to make it really, it's very forward thinking.
Yeah.
You know, this new industrial. I just think that as the world changes, right, and the way that people see the world and building, I really think this is building of the future.
Yeah. You know, I think of, I know in the city of Spokane, they approved a few years ago where you can put in, if it's, I think, within 40 or 50 feet of the back door or something like that, a kind of a granny thing, so that your in-laws or whatever can be there, you know, even zoned for single family, but you can have family there and so forth. I see where this could really help with that too.
It is. They're excellent as standalone guest houses. Yeah. They're very affordable. I mean, you could put it in as a pool house. There's so many different designs, but yeah, they would be wonderful for a backyard guest house.
Right. So compared to other costs of building a home, where is it?
So that's a very good question, because it's really going to depend on how you want to build, right? So you could build a mansion, or you could build some very cookie cutter, just container home apartments, right? Okay. So the research shows that you're going to save between 30 and 40% of traditional building.
Okay.
And I would be more reserved and say probably on the 30%.
Yeah. Wow. So when do you launch all this?
Well, that's why we're here. I'm trying to generate some really good interest. I feel like this is something that people don't have the knowledge.
No.
You know, don't have the
and
knowledge.
Especially when there are others in the area that aren't doing it. So there's no branding, there's no talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it is a little, I think, for contractors, right? So I'm in the steel industry, so steel is my thing, right? And this is what we do. So, but I think other contractors don't have that mindset. Don't think, a residential, or they're thinking wood, especially in this region, because a lot of construction is the horizontal. So everybody builds horizontal in the Pacific Northwest, and we're saying build vertical.
Right. Well, and let's face it, we have a lot of forests around here and lakes and other things, and I would think there would be a nice second home for that as well.
Yeah, they're great. There's so many options. You can build it as second homes, cabins, apartments, condos, however, commercial spaces. There's a lot of places down in California that are using it as the different, like Starbucks, and you can see them as different Nike outlets, and
fun. So probably in 2020 we're going to see you guys really ramping up, aren't we?
I think so.
You think
so? Yeah.
Are you excited about this?
Oh, I love it. This is my passion.
I get the feeling that the design juices are starting to boil over and get ready.
Well, I don't have any formal design.
No, but you've got a lot of thinking going on up here.
I would say I give myself my own design certificates, you know.
So if people want to learn more about what you're doing and thinking and so forth, where can they go and find out?
Thank you for asking. So we have a website, which is skinnersteel.com.
Okay.
You can also go to our Instagram, which is at Skinner_steel. Okay. And then our Facebook, which is Skinner Steel and Construction LLC.
Okay.
So, and we have a Twitter. I mean, you can really find us anywhere.
No privacy at all, right?
Not really.
All right, great. So, are you looking forward to this next season?
I am. I think that I am very excited. I'm very excited for this new direction.
Yes.
Like I said, for this expansion. We've been in construction for quite some time in the steel industry.
It's kind of fun to take on something new.
It is. Well, and something that's so different, right? Because I think I like to be innovative. I think this is, like I said, building of the future.
Right.
And it's fun to see things grow from ideas to really go widespread. So.
Right. What does your husband think of all this?
Well, I have to plug him. I think my husband is I'm a little biased, right? So
I wouldn't have guessed
that. And not to sound braggy
you better
or anything,
be.
But I'd like to say that my husband's the best of the best.
Okay.
So anybody that gets to work with him is really lucky.
Yeah. Yes, he's one of these that cares about what he does.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's important today.
He's knowledgeable. He loves it, and I, like I said, not sound braggy, but I think he's the best.
It's okay to brag about our spouses once in a while, right?
Why, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, Lindsay, I'm looking forward to tracking what you're doing this next year as you move forward, and let's keep in touch, okay?
Wonderful. I can't wait.
Thanks. Thanks for watching the special edition of The Pulse of Spokane. See you next week.
The Pulse of Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well Dressed Walrus, Spokane Firefighters Local 29, Creative Music Learning Center, and North Idaho Events. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.